Hey friends, it's Amy from Mountain Sage Wellness Shop. Thank you for joining me on my very first episode of Ask Aimee. I am a certified clinical aromatherapist and have been working with plant medicines for nearly 30 years. And so the purpose of Ask Aimee is to share my knowledge with y'all and get your questions answered in a fun format, or at least I think it's fun. So I'd just like to say right off the bat, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I want you to be safe. So everything that I'm offering today and in all of the series are suggestions. Don't go out and do all of them at one time. You won't feel well. Talk to your healthcare provider about what would be good to bring into your health and wellness routine before you just go and do it, please. So I want you to be safe and I want you to be healthy. Some things have contraindications with certain medications, so you don't want your medicines to work less by introducing an herb or an essential oil or something, or even a vitamin and mineral. You don't want to bring something into your health and wellness routine that will make your other things not work as well. So please always consult your doctor or healthcare professional before bringing in something new. Okay, so to answer your questions, a lot of you wrote in about how to stay healthy during this time, and I did get one about pregnancy, how to stay healthy while pregnant during this time, and so we're going to touch upon pregnancy. But if you have more questions around pregnancy and I don't answer them all, you're welcome to email me at mountainsageshop@gmail.com, and I'll have that somewhere linked. So you're welcome to ask me questions via email to go a little deeper into that. So I'm very surprised and very thankful for all of your questions. I just posted about this on Monday, so I was a little surprised by how many questions I did get, but the overall theme seems to be like how to stay healthy right now. So other questions that we got we'll address next week. And that's that. So let's get started. Again, I'm not a doctor, okay? Just want to say that. Everything that I'm offering you is a suggestion, and I want to just share my nearly 30 years of working with natural medicines with y'all. So, how to be healthy during this time of stress and fear and uncertainty. How are you resting? And I don't mean like going to bed and sleeping, but resting, like having times during the day where you allow your body to just rest. That is one of the things that I think is really, really important right now, is to be able to learn how to rest. Meditation is beautiful for that. If you can sit for 5 minutes and kind of shut the world out. Now, if you're new to meditation, that's not going to happen right away. It's going to take some practice, but it's a good practice. And so don't get frustrated if when you're meditating, if your thoughts are coming, that's okay. That's pretty normal. But the more you do it, the more your thoughts will allow you to create that sense of peace and harmony within all of your body systems. Meditation is really great. And like I said, 5 minutes a day, just sit, meditate. That would be really important to allow your body to rest and de-stress. And it's free, and you don't have to go anywhere, and you can do it at home. So I highly recommend meditation. There's a great meditation app called Insight Timer. I've used that for years on and off. You can do guided meditation. So if you can't sit there in the quiet, that's fine. There's guided meditations. I love the guided meditations because when I hear someone's voice, it allows my brain to just be in the moment. And then they have the silent ones with the timer. Anyway, Insight Timer, it's an app on your phone, and I definitely recommend that. Okay, so how are you eating? Are you eating well? How much sugar are you bringing into your diet? Now, I'm not one of those that's going to say no sugar, never. But watching your sugar, especially during this time when we're trying to maintain our health, is really important, because if we get an infection, infections love sugar. Sugar feeds that infection, feeds the illness, and it'll keep us unhealthy. So limiting your sugar, maybe substituting, if you're a big pop drinker, substituting some of them out until where you can whittle down to none. None would be great, but I'm not going to preach. All right, I might preach a little bit, but watching your sugar and paying attention to that. Also, caffeine and alcohol. Now, I'm on social media and I see all y'all's posts about, drinking caffeine all day long and drinking alcohol all day long to fight the boredom or to deal with having kids home, or, your stress, whatever it is. And I get that. The thing that I'm suggesting, and I'm not a no never, have your coffee in the morning. I'm having my coffee in the morning. Have your caffeine, but don't drink it all day long. That can weaken your immune system. And same with the alcohol. Like, have your glass of wine, maybe two, but I, don't drink 3 bottles a night every night because you're bored. And that's costly. So just pay attention to your caffeine and your alcohol intake, and just be wise about it, and because it will weaken your immune system. So let's get back to diet. Eat your garlic. I'm just going to say eat your garlic. Garlic's a superfood. We eat a lot of garlic here at the house. If someone's sick, we're throwing garlic at them. We're putting garlic in our tea even. Once you peel the clove, you can crush a little bit to open it up, throw it in your mug. It's going to make your tea taste a little different. It'll taste like garlic a little bit. But garlic is amazing, and if you can eat it raw, great. If you can't, then lightly cooking is fine. The fresher the better, the rawer, if that's a word, the better. But if you have garlic that's in a jar, that's totally fine too. Eat your garlic. Garlic. Put it in anything and everything. Eat your garlic. Now, I'm not sure if many of you know this, but onions actually help you relax. Now, I'm not talking about chopping onions. That can be uncomfortable. What I'm talking about is eating onions. Onions have what's called quercetin in them. And quercetin is a really great antioxidant, and it is anti-inflammatory and sedative in its nature. So we're going to talk about inflammation a little bit. So remember that onions are anti-inflammatory when we talk about inflammation. Well, I'll remind you. So eat your onions, eat your garlic, literally throw it in every dish. Eat as your fresh vegetables if you can. I know the grocery stores are a little funny, and it's a little hard to get fresh vegetables right now in some places. If it's canned vegetables or frozen vegetables, that's great. Eat your vegetables. However you can get them, eat your vegetables. Nuts, seeds, legumes, lean animal, I don't know, I'm a vegetarian, animal meats, fishes, whatever you can get to eat well. Try to limit your processed food. That'll really help with keeping your immune system strong and healthy, and you strong and healthy. Okay, so I took a lot of notes last night because I gave myself a day really to prepare. So I'm just going to be looking at my notes. On the vitamin and mineral level, B vitamins are really great for our nervous system. They help make us, feel whole and complete in our bodies and help us run smoothly. So I do like the B vitamins for that. Vitamin C is a great antioxidant. It also helps us fight infection. and supports our immune system, and it also helps like calm our nerves. So vitamin C is really great for that. I definitely am taking a vitamin C right now. I'd also like to talk about zinc. Zinc is essential for the immune system to function properly. It decreases inflammation. So we're going to talk about inflammation really quickly because zinc is really great for decreasing inflammation. So when we're stressed, and we're all stressed right now for whatever reason, some are big, some are small, it does not matter, we're stressed. If it becomes chronic stress, it becomes oxidative stress, and oxidative stress brings inflammation into the body. And then that creates pain and creates illness and creates weakness. We aren't as strong as we can be when we have that oxidative stress. Inflammation in our bodies is not something that we want. Like I said earlier, onions are great for reducing inflammation in the body, and so is zinc. Zinc is really great for decreasing our inflammation. Decreasing our inflammation helps decrease our stress. Decreasing our stress helps decrease our inflammation. So both of those work hand in hand. You want to, if you can't find ways to decrease your stress, like the meditation and some other things that we're going to talk about, then find ways to decrease your inflammation. You can get a lot of zinc from food, okay? So it's in several of our vegetables like mushrooms and asparagus, peas and kale. A lot of the whole grains have zinc, nuts, legumes, shellfish, meat, poultry, eggs, dairy products, fish. I think I said that, but fish. So that's great that we can get zinc through our food as well. So if you don't have any zinc supplements at home, you know, you can get it through food. Okay, so if you've ever met me and we've ever talked about stress or nervous system or anything, I've probably recommended oat straw to you. I love oat straw. Oat straw, it's so nourishing to the body. It's nourishing to the nervous system. To me, it's like a beautiful hug, you know, that just lets you melt and makes you feel really whole and loved. Like, I love oat straw. I've made an oat straw tincture, and I tend to take more oat straw through tea. But I put oat straw in every herbal tea blend that I make, like every single one. Doesn't matter the intention. It could be like a respiratory herbal tea blend and I put oat straw in it, but that's me. Because I feel that, especially if you're doing something to, say, fight an infection or improve a certain part of our body, that relaxing and nourishing the nervous system is important. So I literally put oat straw in everything. Did I say that already? I did. Oat straw, love it. It is high in vitamin A, D, and E, also high in zinc. So there you go, there's your zinc, and silica and calcium. It's really, really nourishing, and I think I said that already. If you can't drink some oat straw tea or add the oat straw herb to your tea, eating oatmeal will bring that in as well. It's that whole combination of the vitamins and the minerals that really makes it nourishing to the nervous system. Oatmeal is really a great food, helps you stay full longer. It's nourishing to the body, and it's the same plant. It's the Avena sativa, so it's the same. Oat straw and oatmeal is the same plant. All right, so I'm going to recommend a couple of herbs for, you know, lessening our stress or helping us just get through our day. Also immune boosting a little bit. Now, I'm not an herbalist. I'm not trained in it. I'm self-study and have been using them for almost 30 years. My kids are 20 and 17, and they grew up taking teas and tinctures and all of that their whole lives. They still just go, they know what to do. But I'm not an herbalist. So if you would like to go deeper into herbs or have an herbal consultation, I have some great herbalists that I can recommend to you. So reach out and I will get you in touch with them. Astragalus root is a wonderful adaptogen. I really like it for the way it helps and supports the other herbs that are in, say, your herbal tea blend. I'm a big fan of astragalus root for that. Chamomile flowers, they help us. So chamomile tea, it helps lessen our tension, reduce our stress, relax, really great before bed. But if you're having a time during the day that you're feeling really restless and unwell, go ahead and drink some chamomile tea during the day and just allow your body to chill out. Just chill out. Elderberry and elderflowers are really great for having an affinity with the immune system. So both of those can help boost the immune system and keep our immune system strong and healthy. Lavender and lemon balm, some of them I've grouped together. Really nice for easing tension and stress. And you can do lavender, and we'll go into essential oils later in aromatherapy, but you can do lavender in tea. You can make lavender blueberry muffins, lavender lemonade. So you can cook with lavender. It's really, really nice. And then lemon balm or Melissa has an affinity with the nervous system, and it's also antiviral. Now, I'm not making any claims that anything's going to get rid of coronavirus. I am not making that claim today. What I'm talking about is keeping us healthy during this time. Nettle, stinging nettle, nettle leaf, nettle is really great for allergies. So this time of year, a lot of people have their allergies messing with them as well as trying to stay healthy. Nettle is a great allergy relief. Peppermint. So how we were talking earlier, drinking caffeine in the afternoon because you're worn down and stressed out and you need a pick-me-up in the afternoon. Peppermint tea is wonderful for that. Just the smell of it will help wake you up. The taste of it, our nose and our mouth, they're interconnected, our taste and smell. And it's not caffeine, so it won't make you have that afternoon jitter. So peppermint tea is really nice. Now, pregnancy and breastfeeding, peppermint tea, peppermint tincture, peppermint will, if you're planning on breastfeeding, will reduce your ability to produce milk. Now, it's not going to make your milk go away, but it will reduce it, and it'll make it a little harder for you to catch back up. So always be aware of the peppermint that you're taking in if you're breastfeeding. So be aware of that, and we'll go into aromatherapy later. So vitamin C in our herbs, rose hips, hibiscus, wonderful vitamin C's, great antioxidants, really helps fight infection, really helps give us some energy and boost us up and support our immune system. So I really like getting vitamin C in my herbs. And so kind of similar to oat straw, depending on what my herbal tea blend is that I'm making, I might most likely have a vitamin C component in there, whether it's rosehip or hibiscus. So I just made a tea, and I was gonna bring it and show it to you. Not that it's anything special, it's just in tea bags. But I made a tea for my family the other day, and I'll tell you what's in it. So in case you couldn't figure it out, it has oat straw in it. So oat straw, linden flower and leaf. I know we didn't talk about that, but I put that in here. Chamomile, astragalus root, elder flowers, hibiscus, nettle, schisandra berries, and yarrow flowers and leaf. I created this herbal tea for supporting the immune system and to help when we're dealing with stress and unrest. Now, there's all kinds of herbs out there that do double duty, that can be substituted. So if you don't have something that I listed, either in my recommendations or in the tea that I made, you can substitute. And don't forget consuming honey. So if you can find some local honey or get some local honey, herbal honeys are great. Bringing honey into your health and wellness routine is really nice. Put it in your tea. If you don't have any tea on hand, you can just do hot water and lemon and honey. And when I say lemon, I will always be recommending the fruit in your beverages, not the essential oil. Not the essential oil, just the fruit. Now, herbs can also be taken in tincture form. So if you don't have the herbs or don't want to buy all the different herbs, and can't find a particular herbal tea that suits the needs that you want, look at tinctures. So tinctures are really great. They are alcohol based, and some you can find in vegetable glycerin, but their shelf life is not as long. Alcohol based. So what it is it's 6-8 weeks in the alcohol, and the alcohol is pulling all of the goodness of the herb and mixing it into the alcohol. And after the 6-8 weeks, you strain off the herb, and the alcohol is now the medicine. And what I do is I'll do like a little bit of water, and I'll put whatever dosage it says on the bottle, 1 or 2 droppers into the water, and then I just kind of shoot that down. Sometimes, depending on what herb is in that tincture, it can be a little bittery, but that's why I just put it in the water and makes it go down really easy. Okay, so let's talk about aromatherapy, which is obviously my favorite, seeing that I have over 500 hours in aromatherapy education. So we are going to look at essential oils that relieve stress and expand breathing and support the immune system. So why would we want to look at essential oils that expand breathing? So when we can expand our breathing and open our lungs, we allow ourselves, even physically, just to kind of lift and then relax our shoulders. So when we take that deep breath, it allows us to get oxygen more into our body and fuller into our lungs. And also it's great for relaxing. So if you're not a meditator like we were talking about earlier, just do some breathing techniques. There's all kinds of things you can Google on breath work and breathing techniques and stuff like that. And look at that, or find a teacher, a meditation teacher that teaches you breath work. Those are always really great too. So taking that deep breath allows us to relax. So that's why I think it's really important to be looking at essential oils that help us take that deep breath. And then also it helps with the respiratory system. And if there's anything in there, moves it along, and we'll get more into that. All right, bergamot, or as my mentor Liz Fulcher would say, bergamot. Love you, Liz. Bergamot is great for stress relieving. It's so uplifting and refreshing, and just a beautiful aroma. Really helps us reduce our irritability. I don't think you can smell bergamot and be irritable. Like, I seriously think it's that great. Really wonderful antidepressant. It's, like I was saying, uplifting and refreshing. So really kind of, and helps us take that deep breath and helps lighten our mood. Roman chamomile. So we're going to talk about the chamomile here as well. One note I'd like to say about chamomile. It's in the ragweed family. So if you have a ragweed allergy, you might have a reaction to chamomile tea and essential oil. So just be cautious of that. And like with the essential oil, obviously diluted, and I don't mean obviously, but seriously diluted. Do a patch test, and if you have a reaction on your skin or the smell, then just stay away from the chamomile. just like with the tea, Roman, and so I'm talking about Roman chamomile, Athamus nobilis. Yep, I said that correctly. Yes. Sometimes the Latin I have to think about how it's spelled and how it might be pronounced, and sometimes I'm not correct on my pronunciation, but I do know my Latin. So Roman chamomile essential oil is really great for reducing stress, just like the tea. It helps us calm down, really great for the agitation, anxiety, anything that's really a heightened state. Roman chamomile helps us bring that down and level out. Really great before bed, helps us get into an atmosphere of falling asleep and going to sleep and being asleep and staying asleep. All right, cypress. Cypress helps us turn off the monkey mind. I love cypress for this. And so monkey mind is a Buddhist term of where our minds are like this, right? And they're going, which I got monkey mind. I get monkey mind all the time, especially just opening a shop. I have monkey mind all the time. And so it's really great for me to take a moment and bring in some cypress, either into a blend or just smelling it out of the bottle. That does help. Also great for monkey mouth. I don't know if that's an actual term, but when we talk because we're stressed or we're nervous or we're talking, and we can't shut it down and we talk. So that excessive talking, excessive thinking, cypress is really great for helping us rein that in and helping us be present in the moment. And because it allows us to let the monkey mind rest and let the monkey mouth rest, it also has an affinity with working with grief. You'll see cypress in a lot of grief blends, and it's because it allows us to let go of our fret, to let go of our fear, and to just be comforted in the moment and centered and just being. And so cypress, along with all of the conifer trees, have an affinity with the respiratory system. So it helps us open up our passageways, our airways, and allows us to deepen our breath. So I really like cypress, if you couldn't tell. All right, eucalyptus. Now, there's a bunch of eucalyptus out there. So I'm talking about Eucalyptus globulus, or Euclob, as I like to call it, because I'm familiar and we're friends. That is the one that you'll find most common in an aromatherapy section in a shop, is the Eucalyptus globulus. This one I don't really like using with little kids. It tends to be a little too powerful. The chemical that's in it that makes it such a great respiratory support is 1,8-cineol, and it's pretty strong. If you want to work with a eucalyptus with children, Eucalyptus radiata is gentler. It's not as potent in the 1,8-cineol. But still, always be mindful of working with children. I tend to not really use aromatherapy around children under 2 unless it's necessary. I tend to be very cautious with the babes. Now, there's always a time and a place, but in a whole, I tend to be cautious with the babes. So, Euclob. All right, so when we're talking about that afternoon slump, just smelling Euclob will help awaken us. It's really bright and awakening, and the scent just opens up our mental faculties. It's really great for that. Also helps us breathe deeply and openly, a great expectorant. So if you're having any of the mucus and you need it to be productive, smelling Eucalyptus globulus will really help move it out. All right, balsam fir, another conifer. Balsam fir is lovely and uplifting, really helps us alleviate mental fatigue. It's awakening and helps bring on our awareness, wakes us up. I'm trying to find the right words for it. Mental fatigue. That's best way to describe how balsam fir is supportive to us. Is it helps us when we are just mentally exhausted and we can't think anymore and we can't do anymore, but we need to. And so smelling balsam fir helps us really come back online in our mental capacities. Also great for the respiratory system, expanding our breath, allowing us to take that expansive breath and alleviates the stress and all of that. So when we can breathe deep and we can help our mental exhaustion, then our stress will go down. Grapefruit is super helpful when we're feeling sluggish. So when we have to get our shit done, but we just don't have the energy to do it, I really like grapefruit for this. Grapefruit's a great motivator. Really inspires us to get moving and get our shit done and do it in a way that makes us feel good. I really feel that grapefruit's a great inspiration when we just don't want to do it. We don't want to get it done and we're just done, but we've got stuff to do. So grapefruit's great for that. Okay, so one thing I want to backtrack and talk about bergamot. A lot of the citruses applied topically are phototoxic. And what that means is if you put them on topically and you go out in the sun, it's going to increase your chances of getting burns. And depending on your dilution, if it's not a very low dilution, then you can get chemical burns from the sun. So always watch your dilution and watch your citrus. So bergamot, I tend to use the FCF, which, should have thought about writing it down. So furocoumarin free, I think is what it stands for. Furocoumarin, okay. That one I'm not going to pronounce right unless I'm reading it, and I didn't write it down. So it's the chemical that's in bergamot that makes it phototoxic. You can find bergamot where that is removed. That's the one I tend to use most often because I do use bergamot in topical applications like body oils and stuff like that. Other citruses like lemon and lime, you want to make sure if you're going to be using them topically that they're distilled versus expressed. So distilled is the way most essential oils are made is by putting the plant material in the still, adding the water and the heat and all of the elements, and it comes down and you get the essential oil and then also the hydrosol. So distilled lemon, the phototoxic chemicals don't come through. Now if it's expressed and it's just pushed out from the rind, then all of that is in there. And that is expressed lemon and lime especially, I don't use topically. It would be for smelling only, just because the risk is too great. So I either only get distilled lemon and lime or I only smell expressed. Okay, off my soapbox. All right, so lavender. We all know lavender is really great for relaxing and its sedative properties and helping us chill out. But I also really like lavender for when our souls need to be nurtured. When we're having that stress and we just feel hopeless and helpless, I really like bringing lavender in for that. All right, so lemon, lime, mandarin, all the citruses, sweet orange, yuzu. Let me think what other citruses I like to use. And then the bergamot. The citruses are really uplifting in their aroma. Most of them are uplifting yet calming. So like bergamot, mandarin, sweet orange can be used in the afternoon and evening and it won't interrupt your sleep. Lemon and lime are a little more brightening. I would use those more during the day, that afternoon slump. and not before bed. I wouldn't, I mean, you'll be fine, but I would pick a different citrus if you need to use one before bed. So they really help uplift our spirits. And they also have an affinity with the immune system, because when we can reduce our stress and uplift ourselves and feel good, then it strengthens our immune system. So citruses are really great for that. All right, patchouli. Now I know some of you just groaned because you think patchouli stinks, and that's okay. I'll let you think that. Patchouli is one of my personal favorites. I've been using it forever. Actually, when so maybe I've been 30 years, because when I was like 15, I started using this patchouli oil, and who knows what was in that. But I put so much on that people wouldn't sit near me, and I couldn't smell it. So I just kept dab, I put it everywhere, head to toe. And one time I was at one of my girlfriend's basketball games, and her dad sat down next to me, and he's like, "Oh my God, Aim, lay off the musk." So I began to realize that my patchouli use might have been a little much, and that might be why some of you groaned, was because of me back in 19 something, 1992 or something like that. Anyway, so patchouli, I love patchouli though, and I love it in blends. A lot of people that I know that hate patchouli always tell me that I smell really nice, and more than likely whatever I put on, whether it's a body oil or a spritz, even a roll-on, whatever I put on has patchouli in it, most likely. Patchouli really helps us center and level out our emotions. And when we can level out our emotions and be present and be center, then we can focus on our happiness and focus on the joys in life. So I really like patchouli for that. Patchouli, I call it the happy hippie pill. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. And so if you go downtown and you smell, you'll more than likely smell patchouli. Well, maybe not today, unfortunately, but on a whole, when you visit Asheville, people complain about all the time that the damn hippies smell like patchouli. But you know what? Those damn hippies are happy. If you look at them and you talk to them, they're happy. And you know what? It's because they wear patchouli. That's the reason. Yep. Sticking to it. So patchouli in a blend is really nice, and I definitely recommend patchouli. So peppermint, again, it's really potent in its smell. Just opening the bottle and smelling it is great for that afternoon pick-me-up. Just like with the tea, the essential oil is a lot more potent than the tea. I believe it's like 30 tea bags worth of peppermint and 1 drop of peppermint essential oil. I could be wrong on that math, but I feel like it's somewhere around there. So it's a lot. It's a lot of plant material in 1 drop. I will always say less is more in aromatherapy. Less is more, less is more, less is more. You don't need a lot to shift either your emotions or help your physical body. You don't need a lot to improve your quality of life with aromatherapy. Peppermint does come with some cautions, certain medications. I believe, going off my brain here, anyway, if you either look more into peppermint, small children, I don't like peppermint around small children. The menthol content is too high and too much for the respiratory system. So peppermint is really great for being an expectorant and moving that through. So respiratory and awakening for the peppermint. Rosalina, now this is one of my husband's favorites. He just loves the smell of Rosalina. Rosalina is a great respiratory aid, and it's gentle and soft and nurturing and helps us when we're restless and helps us just, calm down and release our nervousness and also breathe deep. Rosalina is one that I will use around, young children 2 and over, because it is a great respiratory aid. Also, the restlessness. When children are sick, they tend to be restless, and so that helps with that. But it's gentler. It's gentler than like Eucalypt. It's gentler than peppermint, and I really like it for the little people. I like it for the little people. Tulsi, or holy basil, is the plant is considered sacred in several places in the world, and when you smell it, it just has such a unique smell to it that you can understand why people revere it. And really wonderful stress reliever, and it's warming. When you smell that, and you smell, we're not going to get into all of the chemistry right now, but you're smelling that warming, aroma. It's really great for warming the emotion. So when we're, say, depressed, and cold and down and damp, and in that place of being down, Tulsi helps warm us up. And it's a great adaptogen, and so it can support stimulants if you're making a stimulating awakening blend, and it can support sedatives if you're making something for rest. So you can add Tulsi to either of those blends, and it'll work well. All right, vetiver. Vetiver is really great for settling the nerves. I mean, it just, it just helps us ground and be center and be present in our bodies and present with ourselves. Smelling it smells like earth. It smells earthy and dirty and rooty. I mean, it is a root, comes from the root. And it really helps us connect with the earth. So if you live in a place where right now you can't get outside and you can't get your feet in the soil and feel the earth and really become present in your body and feeling embodied by doing that, vetiver can help with that. And the last essential oil we're going to talk about today is ylang ylang. What a beautiful, heady floral. Really brings in the feminine aspect and soothes our nervous system. It allows us to let go of our anger. So I really like ylang ylang for when we're angry and we're feeling really, rah. Bringing in that feminine, gentle, floral helps the nervous system become balanced and really helps us just let go of our anger. So I would like to say, with the aromatherapy, I know I didn't tell you how to use it. If you're going to use it topically, always dilute. There's wonderful dilution charts out there. If you don't have one, go ahead and email me at mountainsageshop@gmail.com. I will get you a dilution chart on how to dilute your essential oils in a plant carrier oil. It's really important, if you're putting it on topically, that you understand dilution ratios. Inhalation, a lot of people like to diffuse. For me, diffusion is not always necessary and not always safe. So certain things like eucalypt, if you have brand new babies around, you're not going to want to be diffusing that into the air because they can't get out of it. It's in the room, they can't leave. Elderly, pregnant women, you want to be conscientious of what you're putting into the air around young kids, pregnant women, and the elderly. Because like I said, once it's in the air, unless you're opening windows and airing it out, it's in the air. And so you can either use a personal aromatherapy inhaler, and if you don't have one of those, you can put a drop on a tissue, and I actually prefer a paper towel because then I can fold it up and it'll be on the inside, and I can stick it in my bra or in my pocket, and not worry about it getting on my skin, and then just open it up when I need it. And if it is in the bra, you'll be smelling it more. So diffuser jewelry is really great for that. And it keeps it in your personal space. I mean, someone that comes around you will smell it, but they can take, well, we got to stay 6 feet away from each other. So more than likely you won't be influencing them using a personal aromatherapy inhaler or aromatherapy jewelry or something like that. So inhalation is always my first go-to with aromatherapy. We're not going to get into the olfactory system and the limbic system. That may be another day. Or if you have questions on that, you're welcome to email me. So always dilute if you're putting it on topically. Don't ingest. I don't ever recommend ingesting. I mean, I know there's a time and a place, but not for casual ingesting. So if someone's saying just put it right into your coffee, please don't do that. Ingestion is a time and a place, and right now it's not the time and the place. For casual ingesting is not the time and the place. Always dilute, don't ingest, and inhalation is my favorite go-to because it gets right into the limbic system. I'm gonna try to wrap it up because I feel like I've been talking for a really long time. So if you have questions on what I discussed today, please email me at mountainsageshop@gmail.com. If you're not sure where to get some of the things that I talked about today, I have wonderful herbal teas made by local, Western North Carolina, locally made herbal teas by, local herbalists in my shop at mountainsageshop.com. Also, I have Eden Botanical essential oils. I have organic herbs. There's all kinds of things on there. So if you need anything, we are shipping and also doing free curbside pickup for locals in Western North Carolina. And I'd like to thank you for listening to me today. And again, I am not a doctor. Always consult with your healthcare professional before you bring anything new into your health and wellness routine, and eat your garlic. I hope you all stay healthy and happy. Bye now.